Welcome back. Mr. Wale Fatade is the commissioning editor of The Conversation Africa. Joins us right here in our Lagos. It's been a while. Have we seen you this year?
Should I say Happy New Year? That I have not seen.
Oh, really?
I've seen the rest. Happy New Year, Jeffrey.
Same to you. Wishing you all the best. It's already February, but you know, it's our culture to always Happy New Year whenever we meet. If we meet in June.
It's the best month of the year.
How have you been?
I'm good. And you?
We're trying. We're doing our bits. We're here.
Good morning.
To hold the powerful to account and to inform Nigerians on what's going on. Let's get to this Nigeria, which is the first paper we're looking at today, and is based on what we spoke about at the beginning of the program. Electoral Act reform, closed-door Senate meeting ends in silence. The riders, electronic transmission of results still unresolved. Disagreement over making BVAS failures a criminal offense. Tougher penalties for vote buying divide senators. What do you make of that?
There's this, I think it's in the Yoruba folklore, about how you ask the cat to actually watch over fish or whatever. And so the cat will end up eating the fish, if I remember very well. And it's, by the way, wonderful intro. I listened to the two of you. And we can't expect a bad tree to bear good fruit. The Senate knows very well that what they are trying to enforce, largely, they are the perpetrators. Or if they are not, they know the perpetrators. Or if they are not, they have benefited from the perpetuating such acts. I wish Nigeria very well. But it's just, by the way, I'm not sure when last the Senate actually had a 4-hour sitting. So, I mean, people who came back from a 32 or 30-day holiday, 4-hour sitting, that's interesting. But I'm not shocked or surprised by what is happening. And it's a reflection of how far we are from the wonderful electoral system. And when you look at it, a child born in 1999 is almost 30 years old. So if his or her life is like this, the parents and the guardians should be worried. And it's so sad that the more we advance, or we move rather, in the democratic journey, the terrible more our elections are. This is sad.
I imagine for those who try to envision and piece together this democratic structure, they thought, you know what, having people represent generality of people in the National Assembly, Parliament, or whatever, is meant to be progressive in the sense that they wouldn't be there for themselves.
Oh yeah,
they'll be there for the people. So whatever they do would be to the benefit of the people. But it will look like what we have right now is the people there representing the people while they get there, sometimes based on the votes of the people, or
sometimes I appreciate that.
In some,
not always.
In some sense, the calculations and others. But the point is, they eventually get there, and it looks like they are representing themselves, because it should be a no-brainer. This decision should be a reflection
this is what should help us.
of what the people want.
You're driving, your car indicator shows that petrol is going down. The next logical thing, get into the next station, top up. That's all. But instead, you keep on driving. That no, it's not possible. I don't believe my gauge. And so it's quite, in our evolution politically, it shows how far we are. And this is so painful. Despite all the advancement, despite all what we have, people can transfer money from Osun State and you get it in Kara and Moda instantly. I mean, so what is that fantastic thing about BVAS capturing electronic voting immediately as it is done? We got the technology. Banks have deployed that. And it has become so common now. I mean, I remember sharing with younger people how before you can deposit money in those days, you have to go to that branch of the bank. They were like, really? I said, yes. That was what we went through. Or how you wanted to check your balance. The banker opens a big ledger at Union Bank Dubai in those days, and will now look for Wale Okikiolu. Okay, this is how much you have. And they record it in your passbook. We have the passbooks these days. So how come we are refusing to advance election-wise?
What if this is, and this is me playing the devil's advocate, and that's why I talk about the structure of democracy. What if this is what the people want? Because we see what happens, and I'll get there. So we see these things,
like you and I.
We see these things playing out in the National Assembly. And while you and I will say it doesn't quite make sense.
Okay.
It will shock you, Mr. Fatade, that you get to some of the constituencies and you explain these things to the people, and people will say, leave them,
you know, all
they
of
are
us
our
journalists
children.
we are, how do I put it now? We are primarily sociologists. I can adduce a reason or some reasons for that. Do the citizens actually know what is crucial for them now? Are the citizens being able to piece together the fact that if you don't have a proper electoral act that is sound in theory and wonderful in practice, your election is not going anywhere? I mean, so the folks who have been pauperizing or who are bothered about daily existential issues, what concerns them about elections?
So
that's number two. Number three, the previous elections, have they really been satisfied with the results of those elections?
There are some great individuals in the National Assembly, but for me, the day I got worried about this National Assembly, let me use maybe the House of Reps, for instance, was the emergency rule in Rivers State, where the polity, the nation was divided. Some were for, some were against. But for some reason, literally everybody who was in the House of Reps that day, for whatever reason, for whatever interest, were borderline unanimous in the decision. So this is my analogy. They are all representing the people of Nigeria.
Oh, yes.
Now, the people are divided. Some say, let the president do it. Some say, don't do it. But the collective, which is a few of them in the House, were unanimous. So who do they consult exactly
now you're talking,
to make a decision?
what kind of information? What kind of information is available to our National Assembly members before they take decision? I was shocked when I heard that yesterday, that the Senate has mandated provision of anti-venom in all health institutions across the country, and I was like, but I thought there are doctors in that assembly. On Monday, I was talking to a friend of mine who's a professor of veterinary medicine in dear old UI. And he was talking about the kind of work, research that has been done on, because he's a professor of wildlife medicine. He actually knows about snakes. He manages the snakes in the UI zoo. And I was talking with him. And so, do they understand that many hospitals in Nigeria don't have electricity? How do you store antivenom when there is no cold chain, when there is no storage, when there is no refrigeration, when there is no electricity? And I was like, do these people really? And I asked myself, but I thought there are doctors in that National Assembly, in that Senate. Do they not educate them enough? Before an average Congress member in the United States takes a decision, it's people like you and I, that they are their aides, who have done enough research for them, who have shown them that these are the facts now. This is the implication of what you are likely going to do. These are the things that, I mean, not for them, not telling them that go and vote this way, but telling them that if you vote for this, this is what will likely happen. If you vote for that, this is what will likely happen. What kind level, I mean, what kind of analysis, kind of information, kind of knowledge is available to our senators?
Let's not even go there this morning, because they were touted electronic voting in the National Assembly. I don't know whether it's ever been used.
They never use that.
For instance, in the Senate, in the Congress in America, if 3 of us are in Congress, for the time being, the people can actually track how you voted, how I voted,
as a matter of
on
fact,
all issues.
As a matter of fact, it's
on
mandatory,
all issues.
It's mandatory on your official web page to show your record of voting.
How you voted.
And by the way,
so we can tell.
I've covered the Congress in the US. You must go back home every weekend to report back to your constituents.
So you look.
And by the way, I've been on the train from DC to Virginia with Joe Biden when he was a senator.
All right.
So what
the National Assembly, what we're saying, the National Assembly is to
give us a wonderful electoral
act. Give us an electoral act,
so
that people will not see you as rubber stamp, because they keep pushing back when they say they are rubber stamp. It is moments like this that further endorses or reinforces the idea of the rubber stamp.
But I think it's up to all of us, particularly journalists now, to keep on putting these things on the front burner rather. This is our theory of agenda setting. Let's continue like we are doing now. Hammering this that look, we need an electoral act.
And I must say that most of the front pages have the story one way or the other.
Kudos to us all.
For those who don't have it, maybe they will have it on the inside pages. So let's go over to New Telegraph newspaper. Speaks to something quite different. It's about U.S. immigration crackdown. 79 Nigerians, other Africans on criminal list face deportation. So that's how the New Telegraph chooses to lead this morning. But there's another story there, Mr. Fatade, on the front page. Kogi shuts schools across state, says it's preventive measure. It's, of course, as a result of insecurity. You see, bandits kill soldier, 5 residents, this time in Plateau attack. The U.S. Military team sent to Nigeria after recent attacks. And the Chief of Army Staff says we've recalibrated our operations in response to emerging national security threat. Two different stories I have highlighted. I wonder which one.
Well, I want to start with, I think our colleagues should not fall for this stigmatization of Nigerians. Nigerians are not the only ones that overstay their visas in U.S. Nigerians are not the only ones that commit criminal actions. And I'm not saying or commit crime, for better expression. I'm not saying I support those things. I've never overstayed my visa. I've never do that. I'm not going to do that. What I'm just saying is that Nigerian reporters or Nigerian journalism or journalists should not fall for these banner headline or waving headline. People overstay their visas regularly. So don't, and by the way, are you sure those guys are Nigerians? I've met folks in the US who are Ghanaians, who are other West African countries, nationals, who have Nigerian passports. Yeah, I remember that. And some of them were honest enough to admit that they are not Nigerians. And so a lot of people can carry many passports, whether they acquire them legally or illegally. So, and I don't think, probably there's a slow news day in the newsroom of Telegraph yesterday, because for me, this is not, I wouldn't put this on the front page. I wouldn't, because it's just, you are just stigmatizing your country. And people, journalists should not be shocked that decisions are made sometimes based on what we publish or report. Yeah. At the U.S. consul or the U.S. embassy, that's the analysis they send to their own countries. I mean, to their country, that's what they base their decision on. And so we need to step back along this line. That's one. For Kogi, I think Kogi was created in '91. I did my NYC in Kogi over 3 decades ago. And so I have a kind of sentimental attachment to Kogi. Wonderful people, especially their love of pounded yam. I think it's all parts of Kogi. It's a pity that the terrorists are winning. And you know, Kwara too just reopened schools, I think last week, after almost, is it a month or about 5 or 4 weeks? And in as much as we have recorded gains in the last few weeks, we must admit that, even though probably some of the gains could be linked to the U.S. intervention or the U.S. involvement, but I think it's sad that terrorists are winning. Because the objective is keeping children away from school. What happens by the time we reopen schools? I mean, in my home state of Osun some years back, when some schools were marched under former Governor Aregbesola, some children could not go back to school because the nearest school to them now was so far. And a lot of things happen. I mean, it's only a future that will reveal how many people we lost, not through death, but through non-attendance in school. So when schools are shut down, for a country now, they are actually, not just in sub-Saharan Africa, we are one of the highest, one of the countries with the highest number of children out of school. So we are feeding that data further and further. It's sad, very painful.
We hope we can fix it. I think we're beginning to, we just hope that the citizens will know what to look out for in terms of campaign promises from the president to the governors.
So do we really track that? But
that's what I'm
like
hopeful.
You and I that will actually say those are election promises. They are not meant to be fulfilled.
So that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying. Let's get to the Daily Independent newspaper. Daily Independent newspaper is where we go next. Tinubu cites policy gains in deepening PIA, that's the Petroleum Industry Act, energy reforms. Says oil rigs surge from 8 to 69 in massive industry rebound. Nigeria has over 37 billion barrels of oil potential. That's according to the NNPCL. That's our reserve, quite the reserve in Africa, if you will, but there are bigger reserves across the continent as well.
I think it might be second after Angola.
Yeah,
I think Angola has more
but this is, I know that I think Chief of Operations also of the World Bank has visited the villa yesterday and saw the president receiving and all of that. So conversations were made. So when they come like this, these are some of the conversations they have. I even saw one headline that talked about that Nigeria is looking like a good model for those difficult reforms that are necessary to
that's the World Bank chief said that, I think. The operations manager. So I would have asked her, I think she's a woman, to take a trip, sorry for badging, to take a trip across Nigeria and interview Nigerians, not just villa people. So that she would know that which one is micro, which one is macro. Reforms that do not translate into people's pockets being filled or prices of goods coming down, I don't know how that reform could be said to be working. And it is not in World Bank validation that our government needs. It's the validation of citizens. An average Nigerian today pays more for fuel than we did before President Tinubu assumed office. Transport fares have not come down. Those of us who fly, we know how much.
Without speaking for them, their counter-argument is the fact that, although I don't like the language, but they say we're living on Father Christmas, that everything was controlled by the state. So this is liberalization at its finest.
As a father in the house, if I tell my children that we are doing reforms for better lives, and they are going hungry, I'm sure modern day children will nearly poison their father. That it is better we feed now than wait for that Eldorado. And I think in public communication, I saw the presidency. Anytime we say presidency, I remember this former secretary of the federation that said, I mean,
who's the president?
City government, who is the presidency? Babachir, I think, that was the presidency. I saw presidency releasing statements yesterday, making news of that endorsement of validation from the World Bank chief. And I think, I'm not sure my family need foreigners or external people to tell them I'm a good father. I would rather rely on their own testimony.
You know, it's always a funny situation where the ruling parties, so let me be generic now, when international organizations give kudos, I remember there was a data that came out that said 10 biggest countries that contribute to global GDP. I think Nigeria was around 6. I think perhaps the only African country there. Elon Musk tweeted it, and it was all over the place.
But when they give you the GDP measure,
when they give you the wrong numbers or the numbers you're not comfortable with, we don't even know.
We don't need foreign bodies.
We don't need foreign bodies to tell us. So we have to look for a way to stay with facts.
You can't cherry pick that when World Bank chief Kayode affirms me, I'm okay. And when World Bank chief Jeffrey now said, look, you are not different, you say, no, we can't rely on them.
You know, for what it's worth, the World Bank has always encouraged Nigeria to toe this path. In fact, there was talk around the conditional cash transfer. It was a whole plan at that point. And hey, there's also the angle of Nigeria also having access to public sector funding of $17 billion. The World Bank reiterated that. There's private sector support, $5 billion through the IFC. There's investment guarantees. So it's almost like, toe this path and we'll meet you on the way. So I don't know if there are any surprises
all the
there.
credit notes or the credit facilities we have received, to what extent?
That's a perfect question there. I don't know if we can take the Vanguard newspaper quickly this morning, and 2 stories. There's a big advertorial on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, so we're able to accommodate these 2 stories, and it's about the PDP, Mr. Fatade. Makinde, Wike, fight dirty. No more vagabonds in PDP. That's coming from your state governor, Makinde. You are a repentant vagabond. Wike fires back. I tell you, I didn't make this word.
If Jeffrey had been posting this, I would have understood that Jeffrey has this unenviable mission of making sure that PDP does not die. But I think Dr. Jeffrey should give up.
Surgeon General Jeffrey.
Surgeon General Jeffrey should give up. So I don't know.
Just fighting
maybe he has infected you.
We're just fighting for all opposition parties. Because we need the ruling party, we need the opposition party.
But I think we must all accept that it's quite sad and a pity that I'm not sure PDP will come out of this coma. Whether self-induced or
inflicted,
or presidency induced or whatever induced, I don't think so. Because it's as of today, how many governors are left in PDP? Maybe just 3 or 2. Okay. Wonderful governor Makinde.
No, 4. Okay, should be 4.
Makinde, the Zamfara guy said he's not leaving.
Adamawa,
Bauchi
and Zamfara.
Are you sure Fintiri has not left?
Well, you said
I like that. So that's okay. So let's not.
Fintiri is Wike's friend.
Let's not count Fintiri. Maybe he's playing another Wike role. But I think it's quite sad that we've reduced politics to this level. If you look at the ambition of PDP in 1998, when those founding fathers, which, by the way, included the late Chief Bola Igetu before he moved to APP in those days. I mean, Alex Ekweme, all of them, would they be happy with the way the party has turned to now? And for whatever anybody can say about our Second Republic, party supremacy was at its peak. I mean, the chairman of the MPN, the late Augustus Meredith Adisakiloye, was so wonderful that if you don't do anything, the governors of UPN actually had to come back to the party to report their activities. And so, maybe I'm on your side now, Jeffrey. The death of PDP is actually at certain level the loss of some values politically in Nigeria. That's sad.
It's interesting. For me, at least let's have some very
vibrant.
If we can have at least strong 5 political parties, you know, we can have smaller parties. I mean, the big ones.
The big ones.
So seeing them dying after losing elections, and I'll continue to say the day APC will lose election, that's where we'll know whether they are really as formidable as they are. But given the culture of Nigeria, trust me, it's the same thing that may likely happen. Wale Fatade is the commissioning editor of the Conversation Africa. Thank you, sir, as always, for bringing your insights to what the dailies are leading with. So we'll take a break.